Hi, I am Dhruv and I'm a pre-doctoral researcher at Microsoft Research India. Today I will present our work on understanding driver-passenger interactions in vehicular crowd sensing. This work was done with my wonderful colleagues whose names are listed here. Making cities sustainable is one of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to be achieved by 2030. One way to work towards this goal is by collecting massive amounts of data from urban environments. This data can then be used to identify problems, gauge effectiveness of solutions, and engage citizens. Typically, the city-scale sensing is done in two ways. Static sensing requires an en masse deployment of sensors across the city. This is expensive and only provides localized data. Vehicular sensing involves installing a supplemental sensing infrastructure on vehicles. This reduces data acquisition costs by leveraging the mobility of vehicles to get better spatial coverage. Prior work has shown the efficacy of vehicular crowd sensing for applications like pothole detection, air quality monitoring, etc. Prior work has also focused on application agnostic vehicular crowd sensing problems like vehicle selection, incentive scheme, and security and privacy concerns regarding such systems. In the context of CSCW, these works have two main drawbacks. First, they use simulation data to evaluate the systems. And second, if they use real world deployments to evaluate the systems, they consider the drivers as data mules who roam around the city to collect data. However, for a successful vehicular crowd sensing system, we need the buy-in of the key stakeholders, which are passengers and drivers. This driver-passenger interaction has been studied in the past in context of ride-sharing systems like Uber, Ola, and Lyft, but not in context of vehicular crowd sensing systems, even though such systems arguably increase the computer coordinated component of their work because now they need to follow routes computed by a system. So to study these driver-passenger interactions, we built a system called Turn2On. Turn2On offers two modes to drivers. In the passenger mode, there is a passenger on board the vehicle. The drivers are suggested alternative routes to the passenger's destination and incentivized to take those routes. However, we would like the drivers to use their local knowledge of the city, and hence we don't expect them to follow the suggested routes to the dot. Instead, each route has waypoints, which are basically checkpoints on the route that drivers need to cover to earn the reward. We gamify these waypoints as stars, so collecting each star gives the driver 1/3 the promised reward. In the idle mode, there is no passenger on board, and hence, Turn2On suggests destinations to the driver. These destinations are typically far away from the city hotspots and are spatiotemporal holes. Since there is no passenger on board, the system has to pay for the entire journey, and hence the idle mode is expensive for data collection. So we limited the number of idle mode trips to 3 per day. But during the pilot, we found that idle mode trips often take the drivers far away from their bases or their homes, and it is expensive for them to drive back without a passenger. Hence, we modified the third idle trip or the last idle trip per day to a custom idle trip in which the system no more suggests destinations to the drivers, but they are free to choose their own destinations. We deployed Turn2On in Bangalore, a city in India, with 13 auto rickshaw drivers in collaboration with Three Wheels United, our NGO partner for the deployment. All the drivers were comfortable using smartphones and Google Maps. We conducted semi-structured interviews with the 13 drivers and 15 passengers. We used this qualitative data, interview data, and quantitative trip logs data to conduct a mixed methods analysis. The drivers used the app for more than 2 weeks on average and found it easy to use. They took 548 idle mode trips and 359 passenger mode trips for a total of 907 trips. They collected approximately 70% of the stars in both idle and passenger mode trips. As expected, their earnings were much higher in idle mode as compared to passenger mode. The average distance per trip was about 13 kilometers in idle mode trips and 8 kilometers in passenger mode trips. Interestingly, the average distance was much higher at about 19 kilometers in the custom idle trips, suggesting that the drivers indeed used the custom idle mode trip to cover long distances without a passenger. We found three main strategies used by drivers to convince passengers to take an alternative route. In the information-heavy strategy, drivers would brief their passengers about turn to earn. However, on talking to passengers, we found that most of them did not know much about turn to earn. In the discount-based strategy, drivers would compensate the passengers for wasting their valuable time. Another way they used the strategy was as a bribe or incentive to incentivize the passengers to take an alternative route. However, the discount-based strategy did not work for passengers who take private transport precisely to save time. The third strategy was a no information or misinformation strategy. In the no information strategy, the drivers found it easier to just start the trip and keep moving without telling a long story about turn to earn to their passengers. In the misinformation strategy, they would lie to their passengers about there being traffic on another road. In fact, P3 noticed this lie and reported it to us during the interviews. We found two major motivations to use turn to earn. The first was monetary gain, especially during this difficult period of COVID. In fact, one driver thought that the whole purpose behind this research was to help the drivers earn extra money. The second motivation was to ensure a better future. For example, D4 would scold his passengers if they would argue with him for wasting time on the road. Some passengers were okay to waste a few minutes if it was for a good cause like air pollution. We also had some other interesting findings. First, there were some innovative ways in which drivers use turn to earn. For example, D13 would use turn to earn when going out for personal work like to meet a friend. D4 would convert his auto into a shared auto during low demand hours so that he could earn a few extra bucks using turn to earn. We saw micromanagement of their rides by passengers, which is unlike what prior research has reported about cab rides, especially in the global north. Finally, we saw a selection bias by drivers in mentioning turn to earn to their passengers. For example, a few drivers would not mention turn to earn to passengers who looked aggressive or uneducated. We offered the following design implications for future vehicular crowd sensing applications. First, we may need to find better ways of engaging passengers. It is not enough to expect the drivers to relay all information about the system to the passengers. Second, we found that passengers do not care about getting small discounts on their rides, but they are willing to incur some discomfort for a good cause. Hence, a tangible social benefit like donating to an NGO for the extra time that they spend on the road may help in adoption. Third, the system could learn the driver's preferences over time. For example, we saw some drivers who always chose medium distance routes. So the system could show them 3 medium distance routes instead of a short, a medium, and a long distance route. Finally, the system could adopt a criticality-based reward scheme instead of a current reward scheme, which gives higher rewards for longer distances or durations. Thank you.